but also for those who come to us for assistance. So wherever you might be joining us, whether you are here on our continent of Africa or you are further afield, relax and take the next 1 hour with us, more or less 1 hour, I think. Maybe we'll run over today because as you might have seen in your invitation, I'm going to be discussing the questions that we received from you in the past, I think, 2 weeks. So without further ado, I go to my first question here. This was a question following a question that we had in the last Q&A. And someone wanted to know why I did not include amitone in our list of weight loss products. And this is not to say that we should not include amitone. It's just that for some people, they notice that amitone helps and others notice it does not make a difference. So it varies with people. The main aim for taking amitone in our weight loss is to prevent the loss of muscles. Because as you start changing your diet in order to lose weight, you may find that you are not getting, for example, as much protein as you need, and then you may find that you're losing muscle. It's very important for us not to lose muscle when we are doing weight loss, because muscles are very important, of course, for our own activities, but also muscles are what burn energy. As we move, as we work, as we do, even when we are at rest, muscles are a sink for energy. And so we don't want to lose more muscle than can be avoided. And so for whoever sent the question, yes, you can include amitone, but we are not saying that amitone specifically makes you lose weight. What it does is help you to maintain muscle. So it does assist, and it is an important addition to the list. In fact, the question about weight loss comes again today, so I'll speak about it a little bit later on. So definitely you can include amitone, but it's just to say that its main focus is in protein sparing. Of course, we also have products like ProVitality and Neolife Shake, which ensure that we get the nutrients that we need. And Neolife Shake also gives us a protein supplement to ensure we are not taking too little supplement. In weight loss, proteins are very important because our body will crave protein if we are not taking enough. So do give priority to proteins in your weight loss diet so that you do not start craving foods because your body is noticing that you're not giving it enough proteins. And that is why you may have the reaction of actually starting to lose muscle. And when you lose muscle, unfortunately, of course, it makes the weight loss journey very difficult because you find it hard to sustain your energy and so on. So the next question was someone wanted to know what to recommend for keloids. So keloids, just to remind you, are abnormal tissue that forms when a wound is healing. So you notice that when maybe we've cut ourselves on our skin, after a while we are going to have maybe a small scar. And normally the scar is not big or noticeable, but sometimes, and in some people, the scar tissue might be quite thick and fibrous. So especially this is common with people of African origin because we tend to have thick, strong skin that if we are injured when it heals, a lot of collagen might be brought to the site of the scar, and that excess collagen is going to be what we call keloids. It's not harmful in itself. Of course, people might look at it as looking bad, and that is why because it looks like skin growths. So it makes the scar tissue look quite difficult, quite abnormal. And unfortunately, if you try to have them surgically removed, the scar from the surgery might also form keloids. So surgery is not always a solution. But just to say they are not harmful, they are not cancerous or anything like that. It's just that your body is overzealous with closing up the scar. And we can recommend some things, but unfortunately, this is one where I would not say that we are very sure of getting the results that we are hoping for. So the lifestyle things that can be recommended is to minimize unhealthy fats, and also to, for some cases, avoid nightshade foods. So nightshade foods are things like eggplants, tomatoes, Irish potatoes, and so on. So there's some research seems to suggest that they might be tending to increase the possibility of getting keloid. But also remember that it can also be quite likely that it is familial, that you have a tendency to just form thicker scars than other people. Then the supplements that we recommend are ones that help in wound healing and may help that calm your scar forming process so that it's not forming this thick matter. And this will be flavonoid complex. We'll also recommend vitamin A plus D, and we recommend omega-3 plus. So those are the recommendations for keloid. But as I've said, if you find that the results are not too impressive, it's simply because your body is not prioritizing the elimination of the keloids, because for your body, it is simply a scar that has been healed very strongly and it does not see any need to do anything about it. Remember, our bodies and ourselves are not always working on the same project. So then another question was for a rather distressing one, someone at a customer who I think we've had a number of questions of late with people with type 1 diabetes. Often we speak about type 2 diabetes, but I've noticed an increase in the number of questions dealing with type 1 diabetes. So remember, type 1 diabetes is different in that it is a situation in which the body is unable to produce enough insulin, and so a person always needs additional insulin to bring the level to normal. And these are the people we refer to as insulin-dependent diabetes. So, of course, our products can help in managing the type 1 diabetes. But the problem here is that for some people, they always treat our supplements like drugs. So when they start getting relief, what they do is just abandon everything. They stop taking the medication, they stop taking the products, and they expect things to just go on being well and good. Unfortunately, if you have a condition like type 1 diabetes, which is often linked to autoimmune issues, where the immune system is actually attacking the pancreatic cells which produce insulin and causing them not to produce enough insulin, it means that you are always going to need to get either to manage your sugar metabolism very well. That is what we do when you're using botanical balance, 3NN, and fiber tablets. But also, if you stop using the products or you get careless with your diet and managing your issues, the type 1 diabetes, of course, is going to come back. So just do be aware that if you've got a client or you yourself have type 1 diabetes, this is a long-term situation in which you will use the supplements. Maybe you can go on and off periodically, but you cannot abandon them altogether. And also, it is important to discuss with your medical person about the process that you are using to manage your type 1 diabetes. They may find that you can change the type of insulin that you're using. So instead of using the injectable one, which has got its own issues, they may decide to recommend it to prescribe the tablet ones, or they may adjust the dose according to how they study your condition. So work hand in hand with your doctor, work hand in hand with your distributor, so that you are able to manage this long-term situation without going off and crashing and ending up with problems which can actually be quite life-threatening. So just advise your distributor, your clients accordingly. This is quite different from type 1 diabetes, where we can actually resolve it, and then you do not need to. You can continue taking botanical balance from time to time, but you can actually close the chapter on diabetes type 2. But type 1 is different because it's simply something where the body is deficient for reasons that cannot easily be adjusted. Okay, next question was what to recommend for Alzheimer's disease. So unfortunately, we are also being found in younger and younger people. So early onset of diabetes, early onset Alzheimer's is becoming more and more common. And another thing is that Alzheimer's disease is closely connected to diabetes, type 2 diabetes, as well as insulin resistance. And so in the lifestyle recommendation for Alzheimer's disease, or if you have a familial history, maybe your dad or grandfather or people in your close family have had Alzheimer's disease, then be proactive, being aware that insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes tend to be linked to Alzheimer's disease. So start by eliminating all refined carbohydrates from your diet and also opt for minimally processed carbohydrates. We have plenty of alternatives if we decide to eliminate processed refined carbohydrates like grains and so on. We can opt for many other things that are available here in our continent. We have things like arrowroot, we have things like yams, we have things like sweet potatoes. Although I find that the sweet potatoes now are becoming a bit problematic because they are hybridizing them so that they are sweeter and sweeter. The same thing that has happened to a lot of our fruit. So if you have got these issues, then I think that opt for maybe some of these starches like the ones that I mentioned, which will not be linked with insulin resistance. Generally, also reduce the amount of carbohydrates in your diet if possible. Maybe if, as you know, here on our continent of Africa, there are many people who are living close to the bread line. And so a lot of time, the major part of our meal will have a lot of carbohydrates in it. Of course, we pray and we work towards a more prosperous future. But in the meanwhile, we may find that we have to adjust the amount of carbohydrates in our diet if our budget allows it, so that we do not take so much of carbohydrates. But on the other hand, if we are taking the better type of carbohydrates, the ones which are not overly processed, we get fuller, quicker on a smaller amount, and also we stay fuller for longer when we use non-processed or minimally processed carbohydrates. So that is a good thing for maintaining sensitivity to insulin and thereby supporting a lifestyle against Alzheimer's disease in the future. Incorporate gentle exercise such as walking in your daily routine to help also with sugar metabolism in your day. For the person with Alzheimer's disease, we are going to recommend botanical balance for this point that I've said that it is linked to poor sugar metabolism. We will also recommend mind enhancement formula to support their mental activities as far as we'll be able to. And we also recommend ProVitality because it will contain omega-3 plus and also the other supplements. So those will be recommendations for Alzheimer's disease, but also remember that the lifestyle points are important for the person who is already noticing signs of losing their mental abilities to this disease. So as I said, of course, in this case, prevention is better than cure. And if you've got a familial tendency, do act early. Start even introducing in your family changes so that not only you protect yourself, but also the younger ones in your care. For those who already have the disease, it's the best we can hope for is to slow down the disease. For some people, it can be reversed, but often it's just to slow down the rate of decline. All right, the next question was which supplement to take for pre-diabetes? Again, this is a good thing for us to not wait until we are in full-blown type 2 diabetes before we actually take measures. And so the lifestyle points that we recommend for pre-diabetes will be eliminate all refined carbohydrates and junk food from your diet. Habitually take a 20-minute stroll after the largest meal of your day. Also ensure that you take enough proteins and healthy fats in your diet. And in general, increase the activity level in your lifestyle. The reason why we make these recommendations is that it helps you to be more sensitive to insulin so that you do not progress from pre-diabetes into full-blown diabetes. And then the supplements we recommend will be the same: botanical balance, which helps in sugar metabolism, and then also threonine to help the cells be healthy cells that will be sensitive to and react correctly to insulin. We also recommend omega-3 plus and the fiber tablets. The fiber tablets is to supplement your dietary fiber, so you can also simply increase the amount of fiber that you're getting from your diet. Fiber helps to slow down the rate at which your gut empties and that the rate at which glucose is absorbed from your gut. At the same time, it helps in other ways, such as with your gut microbiota. And when you have got healthy gut microbes feeding on fiber tablets, you tend to also not have cravings for disease-causing foods. And also you find that in general, your system works better. Issues such as constipation and the toxicity that comes from chronic constipation are going to be reduced and eliminated. So for pre-diabetes, that is what we are going to recommend. And well done for wanting to take steps while you are still in pre-diabetes, because this is likely to improve your results. And remember, as I said, with something like pre-diabetes, if you take the lifestyle points and you use a supplement, you can actually reverse this and go back to normal, so that it is very much worthwhile taking those steps. Then someone wanted to know how to resolve autoimmune issues, and I can understand why, because a lot of times we speak about the autoimmune issues being at the cause of many of our lifestyle-related illnesses. And this is because although the immune system is there specifically to protect our own body tissues, when it becomes stressed, it can become overactive and start attacking the tissues of our body under the mistaken idea that they are foreign threatening microbes. And a thing to notice is that autoimmune conditions tends also to run in families. There are people who are more predisposed. At the same time, certain viral infections can also trigger or worsen autoimmune conditions. And I have reliable information from a number of medical friends of mine that they noticed an increase in autoimmune issues after COVID. So that is an example of a viral infection that might trigger off autoimmune or conditions, or might worsen what was already there. So if you have viral infection, do take the supplements that we recommend, and take care that you completely get rid of it by using supplements like vitamin C, sustained release, or the chewable one, and also chelated zinc and threonine, so that you are also getting sun exposure, or vitamin A plus D. So these supplements help in fighting off viral infections so that they don't linger around for a long time and end up unleashing things like autoimmunity on us, or worsening some mild forms of autoimmune disease that we might have been having. So other lifestyle points to support our immune system will be to avoid foods that trigger autoimmunities. This will differ from person to person. So for some people, it might be a food like wheat. Others, it might be sugar. And for others, it might be environmental toxins coming from our grooming products, coming from our home care products, and so on. one more reason why we should use our Neolife products, which are formulated to ensure that we are not taking in toxins from our environment, and also avoiding those foods that have got additives and chemicals of different types, because those types of chemicals, you may not know how you're specific. For some people with whom they researched it, it might be harmless, but in your specific condition, you may find that those foods which you thought were safe, because they have chemicals that are said to be safe, actually trigger off your immune system and cause it to become autoimmune. Then the supplements we recommend to support your immune system will be flavonoid complex, which, as I think I've said before, contains some vitamin C as well as the other phytonutrients from purple and dark colored foods. Then we also recommend omega-3 plus. We recommend vitamin A plus D, as well as chelated zinc or multimineral. You can increase the amount of dietary fiber in your diet, or you can also supplement with fiber tablets. As I think I've said this before, if you have been taking very little fiber in your diet, it might be a difficult thing to start increasing it suddenly. This is why supplementing with fiber tablets as you slowly start increasing the fiber in your diet can be an easy way to go about it. So those will be the supplements to support your immune system, and also the lifestyle points to take note of. Then another question was about osteomyelitis, which is a term referring to bone infection. And this person says the condition is chronic. So if the bone infection is chronic, it could be because the immune system is weakened, or it could be that there is a reason why they are getting constantly reinfected. And so it would be good to see the doctor in order to discuss maybe a change in antibiotics to get rid of the infection, or to find out why it is that the infection keeps coming back. So my first recommendation there will be to discuss this with your doctor and see what they can suggest. Then the supplements you can use in the meanwhile will be garlic allium, which tends to support fighting of harmful. You recommend chelated zinc. You may also want to add there calmar, just to improve bone strength. It could be also that the bones, as a result of these repeated infections, are actually not as strong as they can be. So you can add calmar and vitamin A plus D in order to strengthen your bones as well. But do discuss with your doctor to find out why the infection keeps on coming back. And then once you find the underlying cause, then we can deal with that underlying cause, because a lot of time, if we don't know the underlying cause that is causing a chronic situation, then we are not able to target it correctly so as to get rid of it. Then another weight loss question, this one specifically, was what products to use in order to lose visceral fat. That is a fat that we always speak about that is very dangerous to our health, the fat around our middle, our waist. So another good plan here to get rid of this type of fat, because it is one that is linked to a lot of illnesses, lifestyle illnesses that we are noticing now. And so, as I think I've said before, the first step in weight loss is not a product. The first step in weight loss is to change our diet, because the way that we came to be laying fat around our waist or any other body part will be linked, first of all, to our food. So for that reason, some of the things that you can take on board before we come to the product is opt for minimally processed carbohydrates, because, as I said, they contain plenty of fiber and they support the correct microbes, as well as also keeping you full for longer so that you do not overeat or eat too frequently. Then make sure that you have enough protein in your diet, especially your first meal of the day. So your breakfast should not be laden with cornflakes and all this type of junk. Rather, opt for a protein and a fiber. Let's say you have some egg and an apple. That is a better breakfast than cornflakes with coffee or something like that. Then opt for healthy fats because they support a healthy metabolism. Also include plenty of vegetables in your diet. Notice we don't speak about fruits often these days because a lot of our fruits have become so sweet that they are becoming almost as dangerous as material because the hybridized to become more and more sweet. So rather opt towards vegetables than toward or fruits which are not sweet than towards very sweet fruits. I'm talking about things like bananas. I'm talking about things like some types of pineapples and so on. So it's not that they are unhealthy for someone who is not struggling with weight issues or diabetes and so on. They are okay. But if you have got these type of issues, you might want to make better choices. Then, of course, as usual, eliminate all sugar and refined carbohydrates. In fact, by this elimination, you'll already notice that you are going to start losing visceral fats. Reduce the amount of starchy carbohydrates from your food as much as you are able. And then also eliminate alcohol because we tend to forget that alcohol is also a carbohydrate. It is treated as a carbohydrate by the body. And that is why, especially a type of alcohol like beer, tends to be linked to visceral fat because the body sees it as a source of carbohydrate, refined carbohydrate, in fact. Then increase exercise in your lifestyle, but please understand that exercise cannot counterbalance the effect of poor dietary choices. So we can, no matter how much we are exercising, if we are eating the foods that are driving obesity, the exercise, we are going to nullify the benefits, the weight loss benefits of the exercise, because of course, exercising is good for our health. But if our plan is to lose weight, then remember, we don't say that I'm going to eat a chocolate cake and then jog for 5 kilometers and then it's going to be okay. No, it's not going to be okay. Sorry to say. All right. Then the best part of exercise is actually to maintain weight loss. So you will see that once you have reached the weight that you are trying to reach, once you've lost the fat around your belly, then of course exercise is going to be extremely good because it will help you to maintain the new weight that you have achieved. Then choose the exercise that you're going to be able to stay with, because sometimes we start on an exercise program that is such a killer, like when you go on things like boot camp or some of these things. If you're like me, then you know very well you'll not survive too long in the boot camp. So rather pick a steadily build up exercise that you find that you're able to sustain, because it is going to be a lifelong part of your healthy lifestyle. Then the supplements we recommend will be, of course, Pro Vitality as a baseline supplement, so that we are sure that you're getting the nutrients that you need as you change your diet for the better. And then fiber tablets or fiber blends, this will help support you in the way I think I've mentioned already. Neolife Shake can replace one of your meals so that you get a good balanced protein. Neolife tea without sugar or artificial sweetener will also be a useful drink to add. And of course, as we said, Amitone, so that as you are dropping the weight, you retain muscle. Remember that under the visceral fat is your six pack, and you don't want to lose your six pack as you are trying to lose your weight. So Amitone can support you there. And so those will be the supplements that we recommend to support your weight loss journey. But I really must emphasize that the first thing starts with changing your dietary habits. If you do not change this, then it is very unlikely that simply taking the supplements is going to bring about the results that you're looking for. Next question was someone wanted to know what to recommend for anemia. The issue I have here is that there are different causes and types of anemia. So I would recommend first to check with your doctor the underlying cause for the anemia, because as I think I've said before, if you have something like sickle cell anemia, then it is not a good plan to treat it the way you treat normal anemia. So do check with your doctor the type or underlying cause of your anemia so that we tackle it correctly. But in the meanwhile, follow a healthy diet with plenty of proteins in it. And the supplements that we recommend will be vitamin C and vitamin B complex. And if you have got the ordinary iron-related anemia, then you can add multimineral there. If you have got sickle cell anemia, that might not be the correct the multimineral would not be a good choice for you. So if you want to know about sickle cell anemia, then do specify. But for the ordinary anemia, we recommend multimineral alfalfa, which contains iron. We also recommend vitamin C and vitamin B complex. Then someone wanted to know which products we can use for a 4-day detox. So our Near Life Detox program will contain 4 products. We have Beta Guard, we have Stage 6, Garlic Allium Complex, and Multimineral. So these 4 will be the products you're going to use for your 4-day detox. Remember, when you're undergoing a detox, then you need to also stay well hydrated, so that your body has got plenty of water with which to flush out the toxins. Also recommended is to reduce your exercise level during the time when you're doing a detox, because you may find that your energy levels are not so high. Allow your body to rest and deal with detoxing. Try not to also stress it up with high levels of exercise. Then eat easily digestible food. So, for example, at this time, you can eat light meals. If it is vegetables, maybe opt for cooked vegetables if you normally struggle with raw vegetables. And then the question following this one, someone wanted to know, they want to also deworm. So I don't know if the question came from the same person, but the question was, should they deworm before or after a detox? So sometimes when people go into a detox, they also want to get rid of worms. So if you want to deworm yourself as well, then first do the deworming. Once the course of medication that you're using to eliminate the worms has run, then start the detox after that. And remember that detox works overall. So do the deworming. Once you've done the deworming, then embark on the detox. And I also had another question, sorry, about that I've just remembered about detox. Sometimes people do a very long detox, which can really run the body down. I think that a better plan might be to do a 4-day detox, take a rest, maybe for 2-3 months, then do another detox. If for some reason you need a lot of it, for whatever reason, I would not know. But rather than just doing a continuous detox for a month, do it maybe divide the year into 6 months. So you do twice a year, or 4 months, you do it so that you detox 3 times a year. Or even you can do it every quarter if for some reason you are exposed to a lot of toxins. But at the same time, do try to avoid being exposed to all these toxins by checking your lifestyle and seeing how you can reduce your toxin load in your environment. Then what we recommend for irritated dry skin. So here again, the first thing is to identify the cause of the irritation. This could be food intolerances. So maybe you are eating certain foods which don't agree with you and cause your stomach to be upset. If certain foods make you feel ill, then it's an indication that that food does not agree with your body. So maybe you should reduce the frequency with which you eat it or opt for something else. Other people, the thing that can irritate would be, of course, harsh grooming products, or even something like air conditioning for some people can irritate the skin and cause it to become to erupt into pimples and become dry. Then the next, so try to identify the roots of what is irritating your skin. Then stay hydrated always. Of course, we know that the skin is our biggest organ, and all the cells in it are exposed very much to the environment. The ones on the outermost layer of the skin are continuously exposed to the environment, which means that drying, especially if you're in an air-conditioned building the whole time, or you are living in a hot, dry climate, or something like that, then you need to make sure that you are well hydrated. Also, a thing that generally tends to irritate the skin is junk food, because junk food contains a lot of problematic components in it. And just as it irritates your body on the inside, it's also going to irritate you on the outside. So eliminate or avoid junk food. And then there's the Neolife products that we recommend. First of all, will be for your face will be mild cleanser, such as nutrients, gentle makeup remover. This is for removing makeup, but you can also use it simply for cleansing your skin. It's very mild, but it cleanses the skin thoroughly without irritating it. And then you can apply aloe vera gel mixed with a little glycerin, because when the skin is dry, aloe vera gel tends to be too light. So you can add maybe a tiny drop of glycerin to the aloe vera gel, so as to, glycerin is hygroscopic, it absorbs moisture from the surroundings. So it will help your skin to be moisturized, and the aloe vera gel will help to the skin to settle down the irritation. Plus also vitamin A plus D is another important supplement for skin health. Remember, if you are you do not identify what is causing the irritation, then you will be working at cross purposes. As you are using the product, also try to get to the root of what is causing your skin to be irritated. All right, then someone wanted a recommendation for products to help a woman to conceive, and remember, supplements can help only with infertility that is related to nutrition or to hormonal imbalance. So always keep that in mind, and let the person know. Then eliminate unhealthy foods. So, for example, eliminate sugar, refined carbohydrates, factory fats, and all these processed things, because they can actually be responsible for upsetting your hormonal balance, as well as reducing the fertility of a woman or a man. So opt for natural, minimally processed foods, and then the supplements we recommend for supporting fertility will be Herbal Feminine Complex to help with balancing the hormones. We also recommend 3NN, vitamin E, and chelated zinc. Then I had a question from a man also. Let me just look for it so we can talk about both. So in the case of male infertility, can have different causes. So one of the causes can be problems to do with the sperm. Other problems can be ED, erectile dysfunction, and so on. So the particular question here was for abnormality in the sperm. And so when the sperm is not properly formed, it may struggle to swim so as to reach the egg to fertilize it, or it may struggle to survive long enough to fertilize the egg. So this is often linked to frequent exposure to hormonal disruptors. Remember, we said those. So for men, avoid soy products or meat to which hormones have been added. So you know that especially in some of our mass-produced foods, you may find that the meat has got hormones added to it. Eliminate harmful substances such as tobacco, cannabis, alcohol. They tend to damage the gametes, whether the sperm or the egg, and they increase also, unfortunately, the possibility of miscarriage. So eliminate those from your lifestyle. Cannabis can also be a cause of erectile dysfunction. Then keep the testicles cool. Avoid warm, tight clothing for gents, and also avoid placing a laptop on your lap because the laptop tends to produce heat. And this part of the body prefers to be kept cool in order to support the health of the sperm. Prolonged sitting, obesity, all these can contribute to abnormality in sperm. Also, other things in your lifestyle, ensure that you have got enough healthy proteins in your diet. And for men, I think I've said before and will always repeat, having good levels of testosterone is very important for a man and a man's health. So make sure that you're doing weight-bearing exercises so that you increase your musculature, because muscles are one of the areas from which you produce testosterone. This will support your overall health and, of course, your reproductive health. Last of all, in your lifestyle points, resolve stressors, because stress, of course, is at the base of a lot of our issues. Then the supplements that will go along with those lifestyle points will be chelated zinc, herbal masculine complex, omega-3 plus, and carotenoid complex. So I see that I've run for quite a while, and so I will leave off there. As you know, we always schedule these Q&As every other week, or maybe the questions are a lot. We can have another one next week. But I think that for now, I will leave off there and wish you all the best in the remainder of, I think we've already started a new month. I'm lagging behind. So I hope that you are able to reach your goals for this month. And I wish you all the best in your efforts to do so, because I think we are still in the struggle for it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again next week. Thank you very much. And all the best in all that you do, because remember, in our business, as we are going about building our business and speaking to people, our goal is always to make everybody's life healthier and happier, but also to support them in their efforts to become wealthier. So thank you very much for the time and the data that you have used to spend this time with us. But of course, Pascal is standing by to take you through the business part of our session today. So here